Hello and welcome to Casual Leaves. And it's been a while since my last video because I was really caught up with a lot of things. But today I'm deciding to do a combined video where I want to do two things which have been pending for a long time, which is to unbox these moss poles from Plant Essentials, and then I have some plant chores waiting to be done. So instead of making two different videos, I'm just going to combine this into a longer one, and I hope you like it. If you're new here, I make plant videos and at times I make unboxing and review videos. And if you're returning here, thank you so much for joining back, and I hope everyone enjoys this video. So I received these moss poles about 2 weeks back, but for some reasons I couldn't really even unbox it. And I'm so excited to get these because these moss poles are so popular right now. And they're popular because they work really well compared to other moss poles that we all have been using in the past. These are kind of DIY moss poles, and you can create it the way you like it, and they are very easy to extend. They are made of acrylic sheets, so they are easy to manage. You can see what's happening with the roots inside, and they keep the moisture more intact than the normal moss poles. And let's open this. Yeah, I'm just gonna get a scissor. So for a while now, I've been wanting these kind of moss poles because I saw the thickly moss poles in some of the videos on YouTube where people were using these, and I was wanting to get them from US or UK, but that was not possible. And to our surprise, we have them available now here in India, so that's a very cool thing. I was almost going to place an order on US websites, but then I'm glad I waited and I got these on a really cool discount. They are from Plant Essentials, which has recently started sourcing a lot of good plant accessories which typically were not available in India. So I'm really happy. And here these are. So these come in the form of sheets. So you have these acrylic frosted sheets, and they have these really nice big hexagonal holes for the moss pole to take the space in, and there are quite a lot of them here. And they come in different shapes. I think there's a D shape, there's a round one, and yeah, so you just kind of put it in the slots and your moss pole is ready. So that's pretty cool. What I'm gonna do is I will, in the meantime, while we fix these, I have got my moss here which I need to clean. So I've got a really bad quality moss, sphagnum moss from Amazon, and it's really not good. But since I have it, and it's a lot of it, which I store in this whey protein box, I'm gonna boil this. I'm gonna boil it, I'm gonna cool it. So I'm gonna get started with that, and then we'll come back and make the moss poles. So now that the sphagnum moss has been boiling for about 10-15 minutes and I have drained it and I have left it to cool down, I'm just gonna get on with some other chores, which are for some three of my other plants. Now these three plants are really difficult for me because they have been refusing to grow at all, no matter what I do. So I just thought I'm going to diagnose them, try to address the issue, and see if something can be done and they can finally start growing. So the first of these plants is one of my alocasias, which is my Alocasia Black Velvet. This has been struggling for a very long time, and I've done, I think, two different videos on it where I've tried to diagnose the problems. This was my very first rare tropical plant that I ever got, and how my whole journey began for casual leaves. But it has been in trouble since a while. This used to give me around 9 leaves, like there were up to 9 to 12 really bigger than these kind of leaves on it, and it started blooming and it had a very good 4-5 months. And then I think I overfed it, overwatered it, and I really didn't know the care guide for it. So in that process, I've kind of upset it, I feel. Nevertheless, it has been trying to push out a new leaf, I believe. Now, whether it's a leaf or a bloom, I'm not too sure, but I'm hoping that it's gonna be a leaf. It had given me two back-to-back blooms from here. I had chopped them off to retain the energy, but it didn't really work. In fact, it became dormant again, and I think I'm just gonna check the roots, which also I've done in the past and they were fine, but I think I want to change the soil. So that's one of the tasks with this plant, which refuses to grow for me. The other one is this Monstera Adansonii. I've had this for a while now and I got two plants. The other one does quite well. I'm just going to show that as well. Now this is the other one. I got both the plants at the same time from the same seller. I ordered these online from Little Jungle, but as you can see the difference, this one refuses to grow completely, whereas this one has been doing really well. They both have the same soil medium, which is more of a coco peat soil mix. And I did check their roots when they came to me, but this one refuses to grow no matter what I do. It's been yellowing, it's lost a lot of leaves, a lot of stems. So either I'm gonna chop it off and I'm gonna change the soil and check the roots. So that's the second task with the second plant. And the third one is my Hoya Carnosa Compacta, which is the Hoya Hindu rope. This one started to grow for me from the base. It started giving new leaves, but it has a very poor quality soil mix. It had a lot of millipedes in them, which means there's decaying matter in the soil, which I need to address. So that's what I want to do, and I generally want to just take care of it a bit better and just diagnose it, because I think something is wrong for sure. So the best thing would be to check the roots and change the soil, which I've clearly delayed a lot. So these are the three things which I want to do while my sphagnum moss is cooling up. So let's start with the black velvet first. Just gonna gently try and pull it out. Just gonna get a little tool to help me nudge it out of the planter. Not really too many roots. Like that's the whole of the root ball. But the base is fine. It's not like this stalk has rotted off or something. I'm just gonna try and clean it up. I think someone on a WhatsApp group recommended that I should use leca for it. Now I don't have leca. Uh, I don't know. Do I water propagate this or something? But I don't want to lose this plant, so I'm not gonna do that either. I think I'm just gonna give it a fresh soil, go the standard traditional way, just use these many roots and put it in some fresh soil. That's what I'm gonna do. It was definitely in need of getting itself checked, so I'm happy that that's happened now. I may lose this new offshoot in the process, but it's gonna be okay. So I will go and find a different pot for this. I don't think the ceramic pot is suiting it, and I think I want a clear container so I know what's going on. So I'll just keep this aside for a bit, and I will also remove this guy from the pot so we can check what's happening. It has good roots. It always had good roots, but see, the roots are really healthy. Then why does it not grow for me? Like, it's got a very decent root system. It's very decent. Then why? I think it's not getting the nutrients or something. And it's only coco peat. There's no other thing in the soil. So I guess it's just not happy in that sense. So I think I will just give it new soil and it should be fine. The roots are really nice. That's a good thing. So I'm just keeping it here. I'm gonna soil them all together. Soil them all together. That's maybe a new phrase. And now the last one, and I'm really afraid to unpot this one because I'm expecting a lot of worms to come out of it. And that's the only reason why I've been putting it off to unpot this. But let's do it. I'm not gonna think too much. Just be ready to move away. Okay, so no roots. Not many roots, rather. So just gonna give it new soil. So there were worms. There were some white, creepy, crawly, big size worms. Probably they were going to become earthworms or millipedes, I don't know. But I've discarded that soil, I've discarded that pot for the Hoya. And I knew for a while that there was something, and it's totally on me that I couldn't do much because I was just so scared of the worms and the bacteria and everything in the soil. So it's not really the most pretty picture, but that's how it is. So I've got this stick out container, made holes in it, and this is what I'm going to be using for my Alocasia Black Velvet, the one without the roots, and I'm going to just start with it. And I'm just not going to put too many thoughts about how I could be using leca or any other means because I really do not have that much time. And so we're just going to go the traditional way, like I said. Just gonna use my aeroid soil mix, which is from Little Jungle. This has been so far one of the best soils for indoor tropical rare plants that I have found. So just hoping, crossing my fingers that this one works. Just want to say that the behind the scenes of all this plant talk is really messy and it's a lot of work. It's not simple. It's just very demanding, and making these videos also is pretty demanding because you have to try and shoot these in a particular way, or honestly you won't really enjoy them. But I'm trying to also feel the fun in it, otherwise what's the point of it? So yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle in the last few days, but I'm pushing through. So this one's done. I don't want to pack too much soil in here. Just gonna leave a lot of air in between the whole thing, and hopefully once the roots develop we'll be able to see them. Quickly moving on to the Adansonii. Just gonna put the same soil for this one. It's got a lot of roots, and maybe it was feeling root bound, and that's why it wasn't doing too well. I'm also thinking if I should put this on a moss pole or something, but maybe not for now. Let it first become healthier and then we can think about that. Maybe I can make a trailing one out of this because it's got really long stems now. So we can very well have a trailing monstera from this one. And because I've uprooted it for the second time, once earlier to check the roots and today, it may just take a while to adjust. So just gonna leave it alone after this process this time. So done. Again, that was very quick. Doorbell, as always, in between. Okay, so I just went and cleaned up the root ball for this one because since there were those insects in them, the worms, I didn't want too much of that soil to be there. I also sprayed it with my solution, which is like some mild soap, a bit of hydrogen peroxide, diluted one, and I left it for a couple of minutes, rinsed it with water again, and now we can pot it back in. And I need to get the planter for it. So another takeout container for the Hoya as well. And the same aeroid soil mix will go in this. The problem with Hoyas, this one, not all Hoyas for sure, this one is that the curled leaves give a lot of room for pests and bugs to hide. So it's very difficult, to be honest. You need to keep cleaning this plant a lot. So I often use the solution for spider mites, which I've made at home. I spray it very often with that, and I will leave the link for that again in this video, so if you want to see. And I've also seen some new videos on YouTube where they've been spraying the plant with a very diluted NPK solution, which kind of makes it bloom. So that's something I really want to try. This is done as well, and this will go back in my IKEA planter. So that's done. So the 3 tasks we started with, the chores which I was going to do while my sphagnum moss was cooling down, was checking up on the Hoya, Hindu rope, repotting and checking roots for black velvet, diagnosing, checking roots of my Monstera Adansonii. So we are done with those tasks. Now we can head back to the whole moss pole situation. Okay, so now we're ready to get into the whole moss pole thing, which I'm very excited about. So there's a little prep step for this, which is to take your sheet and fold it across the crease lines. So let's start with that. So you just take your sheet and we have to just fold it across the creases. Now, all of this I have just seen people do. There are no steps given here, but that's how it works. You just give it the shape and then you interlock it into the slots given, and that's how the moss pole will come to be. So this, the next one will be this, on this. So I don't know yet what will be the shape of this one, because like I said, all of them I assume have different shapes. At least that's what the description mentioned. Yeah, so this one is a rectangle one, I guess. This is the shape, which is perfect. That's a perfect shape. And this is about 2 feet in height. That's 24 inches. And I think you get 2 slots to decide which one you need to put into, how big or small you want it to be. So I am going to go for the smallest one because I don't really intend to have a wider pole. I want a really compact one. And that's how it locks into the place, which is brilliant. I love this. I really, really hope this works. Now, one thing I haven't spoken about is which plant I'm gonna use for this moss pole activity today, and which is a plant I really, really love, and I've been trying to grow it big. So I'm just gonna show that in a while. Yep, there we go. It's pretty cool. Let's plant essentials. Let's get to the plant now. Okay, so now for the plant, and the plant that is really, really, really ready to get into a moss pole now is my philodendron verrucosum. This is like, I've been trying my best since a year to grow this into a bigger plant, and I have succeeded a bit, I have to say. That's only with the help of the Ziploc bag and the humidity that came with it. And the roots also are here. You can actually see some roots now. So that's good. And I just need to think if I should insert it in this itself. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Or do I uppot it or something? I don't know. We'll see. We'll remove this and we'll check that. So I've got my sphagnum moss, which is now boiled and cleaned up and has cooled down and is ready to be used. So this is here, and just gonna take it out of the pot and put the moss pole in, and hopefully it should be all fine. Those are the roots. A lot of fine roots, and some have broken off. That's okay. So I'm just gonna put some of the moss pole at the bottom like that, and the rest I'm gonna put it from the top. I'm gonna put a bit of a soil here as well so that it takes some stability for the roots, like that. I think that's perfect. Just gonna put the plant here in between, like that. I think I can remove this thread also now. And I think I'm gonna add my new soil mix, the aeroid one this time. And now we start filling in the moss ball. So my moss ball is definitely bigger than required, so I'm not gonna fill it all the way to the top because that's not really needed. The moss will just keep on going dry and I'll just keep wetting it for no reason. So I'm just gonna fill it only up till here. And yep, that's all that I want to fill it up with right now. I am going to tie it up with a little rope so that it gets a little push for attaching itself to the moss ball. So just want to show you from the back camera a good close-up of how it's looking. I've tied a little rope for support. Of course, you can use those fancy closures, tie closures, and those Velcro strips you get to attach plants to the support and moss poles. But that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to try and bring those aerial roots closer to the moss pole as well. But yeah, that's how it's looking. Pretty good. So that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me and watching it all the way through. Please do like and subscribe to this channel. It will help me make more videos and it will motivate me a bit more. Do hit the notification bell to see my next video. Mostly in the next video, I'm going to try and use more of these moss poles for some of my other plants and maybe even introduce a new plant which I have got recently for my collection. That's it for now. I'll see you next time. Bye.